Hello, hello, and welcome back to Temptations Ballad. I guess we're gonna catch up with Artemi, still playing as the Cid. Or I guess this game is written in third person, but you know what I mean. Artemi waded through the packed streets and frowned at him. Sir Cid, are you all right? You look very red. Cid's mind was scrambling as he struggled to compose himself. First Skull, then Clyde, now this pirate guy. Why are all these men flirting with me? Malice poked his head out from Cid's pocket. Have you considered the possibility that you are an attractive young mortal? Is he, though? Cid's face flushed a bright shade of pink. That can't be it! Right, Artemi? The knight frowned awkwardly. I'm afraid I am not much help here. Perhaps it is due to my, isolated upbringing, but I do not fully comprehend what qualities make an attractive man. Right. Of course you don't. Artemi suddenly beamed gleefully. Wait a minute. I read a book about this exact situation recently. I believe you are forming what is known as a harem. Cid nearly choked on his own spit. What? What kind of books are you reading? Yes, this is exactly as the novel described. Artemi nodded sagely. You must remain vigilant, Sir Cid. For your group of enthralled suitors will soon develop what is called a love triangle. You will have to contend with bouts of jealousy and internal strife among your love interests. Most of these issues are easily resolved through clear communication and an ounce of maturity, but you will frustratingly fail at both. The heat flooding Cid's face slowly dissipated as the ridiculousness of the situation took hold. I don't think I'm the protagonist of some trashy romance novel, Artemi. Artemi sputters and clutches her chest hurtfully. Trash? It is literature, Sir Cid. The narrative is utterly captivating, and plenty of people enjoy this genre for the plot. Why, in one afternoon alone, I have read through 4 of the books in the series. Cid's jaw tightened, and he found himself straining a smile. 4 whole books, huh? You sure read fast. Oh, yes. It is one of the few hobbies I have time for between my training regiments. I am currently scouring the city for the 5th book of the series, but it is nowhere to be found. It is confoundingly absent from Sir Morrow's collection and the public library. Artemi sighed woefully. The suspense for the next story arc is almost unbearable. Where's Cole? We're supposed to meet him up to get ready for the tournament, aren't we? Cid instantly felt bad as he cut off Artemi's excited rambling. The knight looked crestfallen for a moment before quickly shaking it off. Cole is undoubtedly attempting to seduce one of the adventuring tourists right now. I shall go grab him. Sounds good. I'll be with you guys in a bit. The moment Artemi left, Cid hung his head low with a sigh. I got snippy with her again. I don't think this would bother me so much. Are we gonna catch up with Cole? Town Square, sporting arena. After a bit of crowd shuffling and a one-sided tearful reunion between Malice and Cole, one-sided, okay. The gang managed to reunite in time for the festival's opening ceremony. The sporting arena was already flooded with excited visitors and locals squeezing into the viewing booths by the time they arrived. Festival organizers were rushing across the field to set up for the jousting tournament, while others were hastily handing out vials of protective wax to the brawling participants. The nobles were comfortably seated in one of the viewing towers and attended to by flocks of servants. Artemi gawked at the grand arena with fascination. Such a massive space for spectating entertainment. There was never anything like this back at the church district. Finding seats will prove difficult. Behind her, Cole was complaining loudly, as usual. I can't see shit. Sid, carry me again. People keep stepping on my tail. Right, I got you, boss. Artemi poked her head into one of the viewing booths with a delighted grin. Ah, there are empty seats here. Oh, I wanted to just, okay. Cole groaned in relief as Sid carried him into the cool shade of the booth. The scorching sun beat down on the arena with such insanity that wisps of heat were visible in the air. It was great luck that they managed to find seats minutes before the opening ceremony. The three of them wiped the sweat off their brow and settled into the booth. It took them... Oh, excuse me. It took them a minute to realize that they were not alone, and that they both smelled strongly of delicious garlic cheese bread. Oh, hey kids. From the back of the viewing booth, Agatha, the former arcane researcher, beamed and waved a cheese-covered hand at them. She turned to greet them through a mouthful of the most ludicrously large garlic breadstick they have ever seen. Miss Agatha, are you here to watch the tournament as well? Aren't you supposed to be working right now? And I thought vampires were allergic to garlic. Agatha scowled and continued wolfing down her basket of bread. First off, no, not all bats are vampires, you uncultured heathen. Secondly, I'm on my lunch break. The organizers complained that my security crystals were too much of an eyesore and forced me to move them all before the event. Can you believe it? It should be illegal to work an old woman to the bone like this. Cole squinted at her doubtfully. Isn't Wes the one who carried all the crystals? Yeah, and I watched him carry all the crystals. It was exhausting. Alas, I am a public safety enchanter. This is a burden I must carry. Fancy seeing you all here, though. You here to watch the tournaments? Participating, actually. Ah, I see. Didn't I give her a more gravelly voice? I don't remember anymore. Agatha sighed and munched down on another slice of cheesy bread as she peered out into the crowd. There's an awful lot of parents bringing their kids to watch combatants beat each other to death. Not sure why the festival organizers don't put an age limit on these kind of events. I surely wouldn't bring a child here. My papa brought me to illegal fighting rings all the time as a kid. And nothing quite gets my blood pumping like cheering him on as he wipes the floor with dozens of fighters in a row. Agatha glanced up towards Cole with interest. Ah, how gruesome. Though, I suppose it'd make for a decent father-son bonding activity. Such unorthodox parenting. At least Morrow Bonebreaker knows how to keep his kid entertained. Cole puffed out his chest proudly. Yeah, say what you want about my papa, but no one can deny that he's a great father. There was a strange, satisfied glint in Agatha's eye, and as she studied Cole. A soft smile spread across her face. Yes, this is a fact I am relieved to learn. It's nice to know that there are still good parents in this hectic world these days. Artemi perked up with interest. Do you have children yourself, Miss Agatha? The bat immediately stiffened. She wore a pained expression as she glared towards one of the tall viewing towers. Her voice cracked as she spoke loudly. Look, the opening ceremony is about to start. I hear the royal prince is going to make his public appearance today. I wonder what kind of speech he'll make. Agatha scooted towards the back of the viewing booth, clearly attempting to avoid conversation. The three of them watched her retreat awkwardly. Cole elbowed Artemi with a hiss. Dude, don't just ask people if they have kids. What? I was just curious. Okay, but that kind of question only ends three ways. First, and best case scenario, they just give you a simple no. Second, they're like Miss Shriekwood, and you have to listen to them ramble on about their kid for hours and hours. No offense, Sid. Sid shrugs. Nah, you're right. It's kind of embarrassing. Last and worst case, they tell you they had or couldn't have kids. Either way, it's none of our business. Artemi, gasped a little too loud. Are you saying her kids have passed away? In the back of the viewing booth, Agatha clearly began munching on her bread very loudly. Cole glanced towards her and caught sight of a small flash of magic. He was pretty sure the enchantment was just cast deafen on herself. Hey, Artie, remember this morning when we talked about acting tactfully? This ain't it. I was just taken by surprise. She bowed apologetically towards Agatha. My sincerest apologies. I meant no offense. The enchanter was busy slurping on a string of cheese and made no reaction towards Artemi's plea. It was evidently obvious she was avoiding eye contact. Artemi shuffled back to the corner of the viewing booth and slumped over, ashamed. Perhaps I am not suited to for delicate social situations. Her Excellency was right. I should have just stayed at the cathedral. Sid sighed sympathetically and patted her head. Hey, it's only your third day out of the church district. There's no shame in stumbling a bit. Well, what's done is done. Let's just sit through this, and wait for the opening ceremony to start. A loud announcer's voice suddenly blared from one of the viewing towers. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are sorry to say that the opening ceremony will be briefly delayed. Some hooligans have begun urinating on all the public safety and setting off the alarms. The festival will continue as planned, as soon as we figure out how to turn off all of the screaming sirens on the streets. If Arcanist Agatha Stoker is present, please come forward as your assistance is required. The three of them awkwardly glared back at Agatha. The bat was happily slurping down mozzarella cheese and clearly couldn't hear a word through her deafened spell. Shouldn't we let her know? Nah, I kinda rooting for the public peeing guy, honestly. What? That's utterly irresponsible. If you care so much, why don't you go tell her? Well, I've clearly offended her deeply. I wouldn't want to, be the bearer of bad news as well. So, Sid, would you be willing to?
Nope. She clearly doesn't want to talk to little peasants like me.
Wow, everyone's, so petty today. I know it, Cole. It's great. I like it. Beats hanging out with a bunch of goody two-shoes all the time. Artemi stared at her companions in disbelief. You are all insufferable. Yes, but you choose to stay here. Artemi's efforts to remain quiet proved more difficult than expected. There was a deafening awkward silence in the viewing booth as the three of them impatiently waited for the opening ceremony to start, while ignoring the uncomfortable Agatha in the other corner. The public safety enchanter clearly did not want to talk to them again for the time being. Things were made worse when a festival speaker announced that the opening ceremony would be delayed further. Apparently, the prince had taken one look at the massive crowd he would be speaking to and had a nervous breakdown. And thus, they were forced to wait quietly for the longest minute of their lives. Thankfully, or perhaps unfortunately, the silence was broken by a familiar face poking his head into the booth.
Ah, free seats. Move aside and make room. You should be honored to share space with a member of nobility.
The moment, Calder and Cole caught sight of each other, the two instantly scrunched up their faces as though they had caught a whiff of foul odor.
The Bonebreaker boy. Of course my accursed luck would strand me in a booth with the likes of you.
What's the matter, pretty boy? Shouldn't you be in the viewing tower with the rest of the fancy nobles? Cole sneered. Oh, wait. Not important enough to join the club. Calder sputtered furiously before clumsily composing himself.
I shan't even grace you with an answer. You are far too beneath us to even comprehend the complexity of noble society.
Sid and Artemi exchanged alarmed looks.
Hey, let's stay civil now.
I concur. Let us take this chance to start off on better footing. Who is your new friend, Cole? The older hyena brushes his hair off of his eyes in a dramatic and unintentionally comedic fashion.
You commoners should really educate yourselves on the noble families that presides over your puny lives. I am Calder O'Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy? I don't know.
Heir to the House of O'Shaughnessy and Arcanist Extraordinaire. You may refer to me as Sir O'Shaughnessy or Milord. Either will do.
Artemi's ears twitch at the motion of the House of O'Shaughnessy. She glanced at her two companions with a furrowed brow. Is this the opportunity to get chummy with the nobles like you advised? Our ultimate goal for today is to establish noble allies, after all.
I don't know, man. This guy is a lot.
I don't know, I like him. Cole shrugged. I don't think this guy is our cloaked mage, but he might be of some use. It's worth a shot. I'll be pretty useless here, though, since I fully pissed him off earlier today. Business as usual for you, then. Artemi grinned, teasingly. Cole shot her a bemused scowl. Behind them, Calder cleared his throat loudly.
It is very rude to whisper among yourselves in the presence of others. Have your families failed to teach you the simplest of manners?
Cole glared irritably. How rude of me. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Sid. And this is And this little unimportant fella over here is Artemi from the church. Calder's jaw dropped, his eyes widening to the size of dinner plates.
Artemi? The Creator's chosen, daughter of the Grand Bishop of the church.
Artemi bowed her head shyly. Indeed, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Sir O'Shaughnessy. Sid made a face and mumbled bitterly.
And I'm Sid Shriekwood, unemployed, son of the innkeeper of the Sparrow Roosts Inn.
You say that sarcastically, but I'd hang with you, you and your mother over that asshole bishop any day. Sid was taken aback, but he gave his boss a grateful grin.
You don't have to always baby me like this.
No. But I'm kind of trying this new thing where I pretend to be a decent person. Also, your mom is guilt-tripping me into looking after you, so I'll do it. Sid grimaced.
If my mom was here, she'd be kicking this guy in the dirt at this point.
Miss Shriekwood is a very wise woman. I'm honestly kind of considering it right now. Behind them, Calder's attitude did a complete 180 as he eagerly shook Artemi's hand.
It is an honor to finally meet you, dear chosen. Though I must say, it was a surprise to find you among such questionable company.
Artemi wore a strained and reluctant, polite smile. Cole and Sir Sid are my dearest companions. There is no one else I would rather have at my side.
Then you are truly as inexperienced as they say. Allow me to introduce you to some more noteworthy and reliable individuals. Myself, for instance. A studied and powerful wizard from the renowned O'Shaughnessy family would surely make a valuable ally.
Not even a minute has passed, yet Artemi's smile was already strained like an overworked waiter, struggling to remain cheerful for her customers. She leaned back from Calder's advance, clearly uncomfortable. Yes. Well, I will be sure to keep you in mind, should I need of you, my lord.
Excellent, excellent! It seems my luck has finally arrived. When Grandfather hears that I have become acquainted with the Creator's Chosen, he will certainly be most pleased.
A sharp voice suddenly cut through the small space of their viewing booth. Ah, Calder O'Shaughnessy. You are the heir of your little house. My, Gaius has become desperate. Calder whirled around, just now noticing Agatha's presence.
Agatha Stroke, a former researcher for the royal family. Your reputation precedes you.
Agatha's gaze was sharp with a strange mixture of contempt and pity. As does yours. Or more precisely, your family's reputation. You be careful now, young man. I hear that being the heir of the House O'Shaughnessy has a terribly high mortality rate. Calder stiffened and glared at the woman coldly.
Whatever rumor you may have heard about my family are all unfounded lies. I pray you take your accusations elsewhere.
Ha! I accuse nothing. Just musing over the fact that Gaius O'Shaughnessy has sent his only underachieving grandson to the jousting tournament. And buttering up the Creator's Chosen, no less. The man has gotten creative in his search for ways to patch up his family's honor. Calder crosses his arms defensively.
I am here to uphold my family reputation, because it is my duty as its heir. There was no, persuasion needed on grandfather's part.
What a responsible young man. Which part of your, family reputation do you intend to uphold? It would be a shame if Gaius finally runs out of family members to torment. Calder's expression closes up with cold indignation.
I think this conversation is over.
Okay, I'll end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.